Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I, as a contractor, appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
And a good afternoon, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kay. It is Tuesday and it's time for our daily hail forecast. We got to thank our sponsors first, though. We got the C3 Group as well as the Merlin Law Group and American Contractors. So thanks, guys, as always, for sponsoring our videos. Let's get right to our weather headlines. We do have a few areas that we're going to be watching for. Just some marginal areas of hail, and yeah, we'll talk about that. And then as we get into tomorrow, it looks like those chances are going to once again shift to the northern plains, and the tropics are heating up. It's June, it's quite early. There are a few little areas to talk about there, so we will check in on the tropics later on. So before we get into the forecast, we do have a few events. This first one starts tomorrow. This is the 2021 Texas Roofing Conference down in San Antonio. That goes from tomorrow through Friday. So if you are there, make sure you say hi to the Hail Trees team. And then next we have the Burgers and Bikes event. This is on June 25th, so this is next Friday down in Moore, Oklahoma, so right down the road from us. This is at the Ford Thunder Harley Davidson, and this goes from 2 to 6 p.m. And lastly, this is not until September, but this is also right down the road. This is called the Thunder Road Race for Recovery at the Oklahoma Motorsports Complex, September 15th, again in Norman, Oklahoma. All these events are on our Facebook page, so if you're interested to learn more about these, what they're about, or if you want to sign up, go to our Facebook page and sign up. So let's take a look at the reports that we saw yesterday. We actually saw quite a bit of activity kind of scattered across the United States. Some scattered reports in Georgia, Florida, into the Carolinas, some scattered reports in Texas as well. Most of the activity, though, happened in the Northeast. You can see a lot of wind reports came in from Pennsylvania down into Maryland. I think Baltimore, you got some activity. Pittsburgh, so western Pennsylvania down into West Virginia. And yeah, just some scattered hail reports elsewhere in the Northeast. And then we saw some activity out in the northern plains. Rapid City, I don't think I have to check. I wasn't on call last night, but there were some storms that happened in the area. Rapid City, that I don't think he got a direct hit, just some scattered reports about. So if we check in on our numbers, what a surprise. We are still below average, at least compared to last year. This is yesterday's reports, though. 0 tornadoes. We had 40 large hail reports and 170 high wind reports. Since January 1st, we are closing in on 600 tornado reports, a little over 4,000 hail reports, and a little over 5,400 high wind reports. Comparing that, though, to, like I said, we're still lagging behind this time last year. 895 tornado reports came in at this time last year in 2020. 4,013 reports, so I think we're catching up a bit with that. But then that actually may be an error. But in terms of wind reports, we're not even close. We're like halfway there. So current conditions here across the United States, pretty quiet right now. We do have some shower activity in the northeast as well as into Florida. And then we have a few showers going on in the northwest, parts of Oregon and Washington. We're going to zoom into a few areas here. This is basically, we have a few areas that we're watching for severe weather. This is one of them along the Carolinas. Currently, right now, there's not a whole lot going on in terms of showers and storms. And then in the northeast, again, I think there's a low pressure here just off the coast. Showers and storms are wrapping around it. And yeah, that's area 2. And then 3 and 4 out in the northwest. Again, not a whole lot is going on right now, but that could be changing later on today. Current temperatures, it's hot. It's June. We're seeing more of an August pattern compared to what we should be seeing this time of the year. 85 in Miami. We're seeing 85 in Atlanta. Getting up into the 90s here in the middle of the country. And it's blistering hot, basically getting into the hundreds in Arizona. Comfortable though in Los Angeles, you're sitting at 78. The dew points are a bit sticky, but they're not as bad compared to what we've been seeing the last few days. The exceptions are Miami, you're at 73 for a dew point. New Orleans, you're at 74, but a little bit more comfortable in Dallas with a 65-degree dew point. So you can't really complain with the dew points not being as oppressive as they've been. So let's take a look at the future radar across a few parts of the U.S. This is in the southeast at noon. So basically right now, not a whole lot is going on. As we get into the next few hours, though, you can see a few storms are potentially going to develop along the eastern coast of the Carolinas. As we get near the mid-afternoon, more activity is expected to develop. I don't think anything gigantic is going to happen. I think up to $half size is going to be very scattered in nature along the coast of both North and South Carolina, getting down into Florida, getting into later on in the evening. Those storms will continue to move off the coast. Maybe some activity as far south as Jacksonville. I think this may be just more scattered wind than anything, but hey, anything can happen, right? And then as we get into the overnight hours, we should be quieting down as the activity will move off the coast and into the Atlantic. So that is going to be area 1. Again, overnight, we're going to be quiet. Now getting into the northeast, again, showers and a few thunderstorms are currently ongoing. As we get later on into the afternoon, more activity is expected to develop. Again, nothing robust, maybe up to $half size with these storms, very scattered in nature across Maine down into Vermont, New Hampshire, southward into Massachusetts. So yeah, just nothing really a whole lot to talk about in terms of robust activity, just really scattered, very marginal, nothing gigantic is expected as we get into this afternoon and evening. And then lastly, let's go to the west. This is going to be very isolated in nature. Something may develop, something may not, but we do have a risk for Rapid City. For this particular model, not a whole lot is being picked up. But again, this is one particular model and one run of this particular model. So anything can happen. So it looks like if anything, it's going to be Rapid City, maybe 4 to 8 p.m. Otherwise, we do have the potential to see some scattered activity in western Montana, parts of Idaho, and Washington, eastern Washington, and eastern Oregon. Again, very isolated in nature. We may only have 1 or 2 storms, or nothing may develop at all. So a very marginal risk. And as we get into the overnight hours and near daybreak, it looks like it's going to be pretty quiet. So here is our hail forecast for today. Again, multiple areas across the United States, nothing major really. It's going to be just marginal chances all over the place, a very summer-like pattern. So we'll start in the southeast, up to $half size hail, very low chances. Again, they're just pop-up storms from Wilmington down to Charleston, down into southeastern Georgia. And then next, we have that area in the northeast with that low pressure system. Boston, you have a chance to see up to $half size hail as well. And that stretches up into parts of Maine. And lastly, we have the 2 areas out in the west, Rapid City, as well as Missoula down into Pendleton. $half size hail is possible in these areas. Again, these are going to be more isolated areas for storm activity, so we may only have 1 or 2 storms develop, or nothing will happen at all. So we shall see. So, and then all those areas up to maybe 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with the strongest storms. So let's jump into tomorrow and what we may be looking at for severe weather. Tomorrow morning will be quiet. In the beginning of the afternoon will be quiet as well, but you can see around 3 p.m. or so, some scattered storm activity may start to develop. And as we get into later on in the afternoon, some more thunderstorm activity will possibly develop in parts of western Minnesota down into Nebraska. You can see it doesn't really look very intense. So again, I think for tomorrow it's going to be another marginal risk with isolated storm activity. I'm not really expecting a whole lot in terms of large hail. I'll get to the size in just a second, but you can see as we get into the overnight hours, just very isolated, very marginal, very not June. Definitely more like August. So here's the forecast for tomorrow. Again, a very marginal chance from western Minnesota down into parts of South Dakota, maybe as far south as northern Nebraska, up to $half size hail for areas such as Fargo down to Sioux Falls. So, yeah, it's June and we're seeing August pattern, guys. It's driving us nuts here as well. This is very scattered activity, and this is why. So we do have a very strong high pressure in place. The jet stream is a very high, way up into Canada, so it's very warm, and this is where all of the storm systems are. They're just riding along the U.S.-Canada border. So this is tomorrow. We have that one system that's impacting the northeast today. That will start to move off the coast, and this is the next little system that we are going to be watching for Wednesday into Thursday. High pressure, though, will be dominating the majority of the country. It's basically the next few days, if there's going to be anything, it's going to be up here in the northern plains along the border. And you can see just getting into Friday, same story. This is the little system that we're going to continue to watch. And then getting into Saturday, high pressure is still going to be dominating. That one little system is going to be moving on to the east. And yeah, that's basically all she wrote. There are really no big giant storm systems within the next few days, just that one little shortwave that we'll be watching across the northern plains as we get into tomorrow. And as I'm about to show you, getting into Thursday. This is what we're going to be watching for Thursday. Areas such as Green Bay down south into northern Illinois, maybe just west of Chicago, and Minneapolis, you could be in the action as well. We got to watch you guys down into Des Moines. So again, I think we're really not expecting a whole lot in terms of robust activity. Like, it's just, it's June and we're saying August patterns. I think that's the third time I said that. But yeah, this is Thursday. It's still a few days out, so stay tuned and we will keep you updated with that. So lastly, let's get into the tropics. We do have a few areas that we are watching for future development. We do have a high risk to see a storm develop here within the next few days. Let me see if I move out of the way here. About 20% within the next 2 days and up to a 70% chance as we get into the next 5 days. So this is one that we have to watch pretty carefully. And then there's another system off of the western coast of Africa. Not a huge chance at all, just a 10% within the next 2 to 5 days for this to develop. And then lastly, we do have a tropical storm. This is Tropical Storm Bill. This is not going to be impacting the U.S. as you can see. It's moving northeast at about 38 miles per hour away from land. Our bill has a max wind speed of 60 miles per hour. So yeah, moving away from land. Sorry guys, but again, it's early. A lot of, it's this time of the year we don't see a whole lot of activity. And as we get into August and September, that's really when things will start to heat up. So a lot of time left for this hurricane season. So yeah, as we get into, this is the first time I'm using this graphic if you haven't noticed already. As we get into later on this evening, we'll continue to move on to the northeast and basically dissipate and just become a tropical depression. And then getting into tomorrow morning, again, 50 mile per hour wind gusts and maybe hitting some land here, but again, nothing major in terms of hitting a whole lot of anything. So I think if I continue, I don't know if there's more. No, that is it. Okay. I will get used to that graphic, I promise. We have a lot of time left for that. So that is all that I have for you today. Make sure if you haven't done so already that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you have any questions or concerns, or if you just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com where we have more information about us, our products. And yeah, if you need any help at all, you guys, please feel free to reach out. We will be more than happy to help you. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday.